Good, man. Yeah, I'm really good. It's COVID. I've been home for like 2.5 years. It's I like it. I get to just be a dad. It's cool.
Yeah, and congrats, man. I saw that, you're a new dad again.
Yes, thanks so much. Yeah, she's finally Rosie, her name is. She's finally starting to take a liking to me. It's been all about my wife for the first few months.
Yeah.
But she started smiling at me now too. So I exist in her eyes.
That's awesome. And you know what? You're looking quite awake considering being a new parent too. I mean, I know what it's like. You don't live in the same dimension.
No, but I mean, this is baby number 4, so I've gotten really good at sleeping through the noise and letting my wife deal with it at nighttime. Just
full on, dude.
He's pretending to sleep through the noise anyway.
See, I've got 3 and a granddaughter, so I'm done.
You're there. It's the same.
Yeah. Oh, I know, man. I know. But
I love it though. It's so much fun, and the house is never quiet, which some people are like, isn't that stressful? I'm like, no, it's the best. There's always someone around, Christmas is like chaos, but in the best possible way. I love it.
That's awesome. Did you have a good Chrissy though? And New Year's?
Yeah, I actually obviously because of COVID, I live in the States. I live in Charleston, and my parents and the rest of my family all lives in England still, so I hadn't seen them in ages. And as soon as sort of flight restrictions were lifted, I got to see my mom, my stepdad, my sister and her husband. They all flew out, so I got to spend Christmas with my family. I hadn't seen them in years, so it was really nice. Yeah,
beautiful. That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome, dude. Well, I mean, of course, COVID. It's like the Lego movie. Everything is COVID, but and I tell you what, despite that, you guys really made the most of 2021. New album, see what's on the inside, and you got this new EP, Never Gonna Learn, that drops this week. It seems like things are starting to look up a little bit. You played some shows too.
Yeah, we played some shows. That was fun. That was awesome. I got to be honest, like it's been super weird when COVID started, when it all started. It's funny actually because we had just played like a floating festival called Shiprocked.
Yeah.
Right in February of 2020, before COVID was, popular. And there were whisperings of it. And I was like, man, should we be going on this cruise? Like, it seems like this thing's targeting cruise ships. My tour manager was like, don't be silly, we're going. So we went, and I got so sick. And I came home and my whole family got sick. We were sick with like 104-degree fevers. For quite a long time, and after I was sick, I never went and got tested because, like I said, COVID was still in the early days, and like my chest hurt for a good 6 months after that. So I think I got the original strain of COVID. I got COVID way before everyone else got COVID, and then we went to the studio to see what's on the inside, and I think I got the next strain of COVID. I was so sick in the studio, and now I'm still just recovering from Omicron COVID. I got tested like 3 weeks ago, and I have positive COVID. I'm like, man, this is just ridiculous. But as Reba says, I'm a survivor.
Yeah, man. What the hell? That's all 3. That's like, do you get a stamp card where you get a free coffee for getting all 3?
Yeah, I just need one more variant, and I get free health insurance for life.
I think that should be a thing because it's just up where I live. We had all the borders closed off for ages, and over Christmas they're like, open the floodgates, and we're going through all that now. So I'm trying to hide away from the world. And
it's brutal. Like I wasn't so fussed about me. It's more my kids. I'm like, because only one of my kids is old enough to have been vaccinated. So the other 3, like, I'm just kind of like, oh man. But so far, knock on wood, they've all been good. Like I said, I just had COVID. I'm still sort of spluttering about the house, and somehow I didn't give it to any of them. So who knows?
Man. I mean, it's really not good at the moment. But as we were saying before, I mean, you've got a lot to celebrate with the new music and everything like that.
Yeah, music.
Man,
that's what we're looking for.
COVID's the shittest band ever. Let's get rid of the COVID. Let's talk about the positive stuff. of course, and you've got Maria Brink on this album too, on this new EP.
Yeah, she's amazing. We've been friends with Maria and within this moment camp for a really long time. We've crossed paths so many times at festivals. I think we've done Australia together, we've done Europe together, we've done America together, but always only at festivals. So it's always been like friendly, but never like a real collaboration between the two of us. And we did this song, New Devil, which it's like a heavier track. And as soon as Danny started laying vocals down, I could just hear Maria's voice, and I was like, dude, leave the second verse blank. We have to get Maria. And she was the only person that we wanted or reached out to, because it just, I don't know, it fits. Once the song drops, everyone's like, oh yeah, it fits her voice perfectly. And so we reached out to her, and she was awesome. She did it so quickly, and she was so cool about the whole thing. So I'm really excited for people to hear this.
Absolutely. It's out in a couple of days. And, was there many tracks left over from the album that you've got more material to work on?
Not really. I mean, yes, but only dribs and drabs. I think for this album, I went in super prepared. I had so much written because, again, COVID. I had spent so much time just writing. But when we got to the studio, it became pretty obvious which songs we started to hone in on. And I'm one of those people where it's like, I don't like to beat a dead horse. So if it's not working, I like to move on, because if it's being forced, then something's not right with it. So we ended up with really the perfect amount of songs for the record that we were proud to share anyway. The only one that didn't make the album is from those sessions is New Devil. And we were so gutted about that being the case. But we saved it, and it's like when we had that done in the studio and Danny sang over it, and we knew we wanted Maria, and just in that time we couldn't make it happen in time for it to make it on the album. But once she got around to it, like I said, she did it so quickly, and so we were like, well, let's release an EP with that song on it. And Miles Away, the other new song, that's on the EP, is something that we'd written a long time ago, actually, quite a long time ago anyway. It was for a good friend of ours that passed away, and it was just too sad to release. Everyone listened to it, and everyone was like, we can't, like, I don't know, it hurt too much almost to put it out. But I think it's got to the point now where, obviously we're not over it, but we've come to terms with it and we're okay with it. And now we kind of we're ready to tell that story.
That I was going to ask you about that song as well, because, I know a few people at the moment that have lost people. And that song
seemed like the perfect time to put it out, because so many people, they are hurting, they have lost people. And it's kind of just, I like the fact that we took so long to release it, because now, obviously hindsight's 2020, no one has a crystal ball, but now, because we've left it so long, it's almost like the song is light at the end of a really drab, dark tunnel, because this happened to us a few years ago now, and we've made it through the other side. And it's kind of like a message to everyone, like, I know it's shit, but you will make it through it. And the beautiful thing about the song too is it isn't sort of dwelling on his passing, and it's not sort of talking about, it touches on when he was still here, but really the story is talking about all of the stuff that we've got currently going on in our lives that we wished he was here to experience with us. So it's not so much reminiscing, but kind of like almost as if you were able to have a conversation with that person you love again and fill them in on everything that's happened since, so it's a really special song. And I really think it's going to resonate with people.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's a beautiful tribute, mate. It's a beautiful tribute. But, I love the guitar work on the album as well. Like,
thank you.
The solos and the riffage are just absolutely awesome. And I think it shows your ability, not only as a songwriter, but as a shredder as well. Like, how do you feel about, that direction?
It's funny because I grew up listening to guitar bands. I grew up listening to Pantera and Metallica and Queen and Zeppelin and all these bands. And that's what made me fall in love with guitars, big riffs and guitar solos. And then as I was getting into sort of doing my own music and everything, and when Asking blew up, it's almost like guitar solos were they weren't allowed, they were taboo.
Yeah.
You know, they were
It
like,
was at that time,
guitar, the guitar solo was gone, and I was like, oh damn, like, okay, well, I guess we're not playing guitar solos. But you know, if you do go back and listen to Stand Up and Scream and Reckless, there's still hints of leads and licks and stuff in there, especially throughout Reckless. There's a lot more blues influences hidden and sprinkled in there, but it's got to the point where I don't know, I was just like, why are we making music? Who do we make music for? And the answer's always been for us. We love music. We love writing music. And so this album in particular, we were like, we're going to pay homage to the reason why we're here, the bands that got us here. And that is, you know, the Panteras, Metallicas, the Queens, even not shreddy bands, you know, like Nirvana and Soundgarden and such. And we just wanted to almost go back in time, and we got rid of all the programming that computers can aid you with, and we got rid of all the drum samples, and we got rid of everything. We were like, nope, this is 5 guys in a massive room, let's go, you know. And it was raw, and it was fucking fun. It was a lot of fun to just go, let's go, to crank the actual guitar heads instead of some plug-in, and let's fucking blow our eardrums out. Let's go.
Have you found that, you know, going back and doing that and hanging with the boys, that it's brought you closer together as a brotherhood? Because I know in a band, when you first start, that's the real core of it, you know? Oh
yeah. And then, you know, over time, it's like a marriage, you know. It's hard. It's hard. It's not, and there's 5 people in a band, all of you obviously creative, all of you musicians, and then over time, people change and grow at different rates and experience different things. So it gets hard to keep the 5 of you together. And then you've got record label, and then you've got management, and then you've got booking agents, and you've got fans grow. And it's like, whoa. And all of a sudden you're just trapped in a fucking whirlwind, and you don't know which way is what, and you don't know who's who. And it's super easy to get lost in that. And we did, we you know, we can admit that we got lost in it. And our friendships suffered for it. Marriages failed because of it. There was drug addiction, alcohol addiction. It was a horrible time, but through it all, we stuck together. There was a moment there where obviously Danny departed for a while, and I think that was necessary for us to all just sort of regroup and regain our composure. But you know, going into the studio again to do this record and this EP for the first time since the last time we did it all together for an entire record in a studio was Stand Up and Scream.
Wow.
And that was the beginning. That was before the whirlwind. So that was, again, like you said, brotherhood, family. We were on this new adventure together, and we were closer than ever. And so it was nice. It came full circle, and it really, it did. It brought us so close together, just being there all in the studio together again. And it was the first time in years I'd sat in the studio with Cam and played him a riff, and he'd gone, oh, well, how about this? And he grabbed a guitar and we jammed. And I was like, whoa, okay, this is fun. I remember what this felt like when we were kids. And it took us back to that when we were just kids, just doing it. We didn't even have any fans. We were just doing it for the 5 of us.
Man, it's the best thing in the world. Like,
it's amazing. Yeah, nothing else mattered. You know, it was just the doors are shut. We have our instruments and we're playing.
Mate, I'm jamming tonight with the boys. Beers.
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
Oh, you should. Hey, man, should come down and have a beer, and you know.
They won't let me on the plane. I've got COVID.
Oh yeah. Well, you could do it by Zoom. We play death metal, so you know.
I can do it. I just warm my wrist up, dude.
Hey man, because you play that stuff very well, and I mean the band obviously has evolved over the years to where it is now, but the core of the band, where it first started, was really fucking heavy. Do you still enjoy playing that stuff? Have you got other projects? Like
it's so funny because it's such a different way of playing. So I first and foremost, I'm a blues guitarist. I love blues music and I love rock and roll, and that's where it all started for me. But obviously, different genres there's so many different playing techniques, and it's funny because you bring that up because a few months ago, I sat here again, COVID, not much going on. I was like, I'm going to go through our records and see what I remember and see what I don't. I was trying to play Stand Up and Scream, and I was like, oh, like, this is hard. I can't do this anymore. And I remember back in the day, everyone making fun of me, going, "Oh, Ben Bruce 0000000," and I'm like, okay. First of all, some of those rhythms on those first two records are insane. I was like trying to play along. I was like, oh, my arms were cramping up. They were fast, and they changed a lot. So there was a technical proficiency there that I had for that I don't think I have anymore. And then there was other stuff too, like Candlelit Dinner with Mortar, like all the weird tapping and sliding stuff in that main riff. I was like, God, I can't remember any of this, but there was some pretty cool little guitar bits on those earlier records, and I think people didn't really realize it because it was people's favorite thing was a breakdown back then, so that's what people focus on. You waited for that build up and that breakdown, but having revisited it, I was like, man, this is more challenging than I remember, and because it's been so long since I've written music in that style, it was a shock to me, and I wasn't as proficient at it as I once was.
Do you reckon, has it sparked your interest? Maybe you got a side project in you?
Possibly. Yeah, it's funny that you bring that up too. I was just talking to my wife about that the other day, and I feel like COVID's been a really shit time for everyone. Lots of bad things have happened, but for me personally, and it sounds terrible to say it, but I've quite enjoyed it, because it's been the first time since I was a kid that I've been awarded time to just stay home and be me, just be Ben and be a dad and a husband. And it's made me realize, obviously I've always loved my wife and kids, but it's made me realize how short time is and how important it is to get as much time with them as you possibly can. And so this time off for me has been a big eye-opener and for me, and it's made me realize I'm not going to focus on anything outside of Asking Alexandria other than my family, because anything else I take on now, whether it's acting or side projects or anything else, all that does is take me away from them. Emily, yeah. And these 2 years has made me realize I can't do that, and I don't want to do that. So I'd rather put all of my energy into Asking Alexandria and my family than sort of spread myself thin and not do either of those two things to the best of my abilities.
That's a good answer, man. That's a good answer. So no weird death metal projects, but we got art. No. Hey, man. Hey, like you're putting all of that into both those really important things. And
I'll tell you what, though, next time we come to Australia, you can just come on tour with us and I can get my fix from you guys.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
I mean,
you can come up and do some. Hey, we're looking for another guitarist. So there you go.
I'll play on that tour.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm gonna show the boys this and go, hey, see, like I've got it all official here.
I'm down. I'll do it. I've got it back. It might take me a few minutes to get back into it.
You'll be all right. We sing about nerdy shit, so it's
Well, I'm in. I'm down to try.
Awesome. But before we go, is there some kind of plan eventually down the track to come back to Australia? I know that's a $1 million question.
Australia, and I'm not saying this because I'm talking to an Australian. Australia is quite literally one of our favorite places to play in the entire world, and we never get to go to Australia because it's really far away.
Yeah.
2, super expensive, and now it's weird. There's COVID again.
I need a little counter. I need a little thing down the corner every time you say
COVID.
Bing.
We were supposed to be in Australia in December. We were booked. We had it booked for so long, and it kept getting pushed because of virus that shall not be named. And then it got. I think the festival. I can't remember what it was called, but I think it ended up happening anyway in December. But I think it was all Australian bands, all the international bands.
Oh, it got cancelled. I know the one. Yes. Yeah.
So we are desperate to get back to Australia. It's and I've got family in Australia, and Danny has family in Australia, so we want to come back so bad. It's just when are we allowed? When can we come back?
Well, I'll be keeping an eye on that, and so will everyone else, because it's long overdue. I mean, I'm not having a beer now, but I'm having a coffee, mate. Water. Yeah, it's a water. But mate, thank you so much for hanging on the show. We'll have all the links down here in the show notes. Take care of yourself, man, and I'll send you the tracks to learn.
Awesome. Hell yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much, mate. Have fun.
Take care, man. Thank you very much.